Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Hot Apple Cider Podcast. With us today we have David Ayala, and today we're talking about the evolution of the LGBTQ community. Today, sponsoring this episode is actually our own special referral link to Stack MasterCard. If you click the link in the description of this video right now, there's a link there, and if you click on that and you sign up for Stack MasterCard, you're actually going to get $5 in your account just to start off. And then we're actually going to get a little bit of a bonus as well to help support the podcast. All the funds that we're going to get from that referral link will go back in towards funding this podcast to help improve some of the equipment that we have. David, how are you today?
I'm feeling great.
Wonderful. So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, I'm excited.
Run this off. So you're the first person ever to be on this podcast.
Perfect.
Have you been on a podcast before?
No, this is my first time, which is why I'm so excited.
All right, sounds good. Okay, we're actually going to start off by asking you a little bit of personal questions.
Okay.
Now, if any of these questions are too personal to you, you are more than capable of just saying pass, and we
Okay.
can skip over the question.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gay.
Yes.
How long have you known? Since you were born, growing up, or did you have like a time in your life where it kind of clicked and you realized?
Well, a lot of people ask me this question, and this question is actually well known throughout the LGBTQ community. I guess I started realizing that I was into males when I was around the age of 4.5, which is usually the time where you start like experiencing more of life, and like
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm straight, but even at 4 years old, I didn't know I was into women either. I thought they were gross. Still running away from them in cooties and shit. But hey,
Yeah.
I mean, made it easier for you to figure that shit out, I guess. Sorry, go ahead though. Continue.
No, like, yeah, like I at the age of 4.5 is where I was like, okay, like, you know what, I'm like, I don't even know how to explain it, because it happened on a day where I was at school and I was looking at the girls, and then I was looking at the guys. Like, I've always hid it because I grew up in a closeted family, so I didn't have that much support. Even like growing up, I didn't see that support being like out there for the LGBTQ community from my family. So just going into like, I guess, grade 2, that's when it really hit me, when I was like, you know what, like, I'm not really into girls at all. And I was actually kind of crushing on one of the guys at that time.
You say grade 2?
Yes,
All right.
grade 2. But yeah, that's when I realized that I was gay.
All right. I don't think I had my first crush on a girl until like I was in grade 6. I don't know if like I'm abnormal or if like you were just like jumping the gun, but all right. Yeah, we're gonna suggest that I'm abnormal. Maybe in the next podcast episode I'll run this question by the next person and be like, hey, what's that?
You're good.
Okay, so you're talking about like support.
Yes.
So background-wise, family-wise, is it like a religious family? Are they not, like, in the sense of like, because I know that traditionally religious families can be
Yes.
less supportive.
Yes.
So was that like your playing
That's
field?
literally the reason.
Okay.
And like, it's not a bad thing to be religious. I am not religious, but I do support religion to some extent. Like, I was always religious when I grew up.
Okay.
So like, all my life till about when I was 12, I was like, you know what, religion isn't really for me, because of the fact that there's so much negativity out in the world that revolves around religion that a lot of people don't see. Though there's a lot of good things about religion, and I guess that's the reason why I am still faithful to my own belief of like the great unknown that's out there,
Okay.
revolving around, God and all that stuff.
Okay. before moving on, if it wasn't clear, the name of the podcast being the Hot Apple Cider Podcast is literally just because we're gonna drink hot apple cider in every episode. That wasn't addressed, but in case you didn't notice, this is what we drank.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Moving on. Okay, so what was it like coming out?
Coming out. Wow. Okay.
Loaded question, right?
That is no. It's like it has so much. Like, so I first came out to one of my closest cousins at the time. Me and her were just best friends, and I thought that if anyone would know first would be her, because I didn't feel comfortable coming out to my parents. I wasn't comfortable coming out to like my aunts and uncles, because after all, like I previously stated, they were not very supportive towards the LGBTQ community. So I came out to her in 2012. And then from there, so I came out to her in January. That April, I came out to my dad. My dad is not a big fan of gay people. So
sorry, just for like a timeline here, because you may have said I may have missed it. What year is this taking place in? Is this like this year, or is this like way back?
This like 2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So like 7 years ago.
All right.
My dad wasn't very supportive, and even though he said that he was, you know that there's something wrong when things starts like, escalating from being a normal kind of like father-son relationship to like more of like everyday kind of fights kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that.
Yeah, I had that growing up a lot. I still do, but like me and my dad, I guess we're not very, very close compared to me and my mom. But that's because his personality and my personality just don't clash together. And on top of that, he believes one thing and I believe the opposite thing.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah.
Yeah, no.
And then, if you want to know where things get good, so I used to have a YouTube channel back in 2017.
If anyone can find it, comment it down below.
It's down as of right now, but it's gonna come back soon, at the end of April 2020, hopefully. If not, it'll be in the summer. But in 2017, I came out to basically everyone.
Is this like a video that you posted?
I posted a video.
Holy shit, okay.
But things get more intense because my mother is literally the most religious person I know.
Okay.
She is the person who is, like if you tell her that tomorrow's the end of the world, she'll believe it. She's a literist. So like everything in the Bible is sacred to her, which I do not have anything against. I do believe that you should have faith in what you believe in, and if that's her way of showing faith, and if that's her way of believing in God and what's in the other side, then good for her. But so I made a coming out video, and that's basically how everyone found out. I hadn't told my mom that I was gay, because
so you posted the video first.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'm sure like one of the arguments would have been like, could you not have like at least told me first? Why?
It was.
Sure enough.
Yep, it was. But it was because I thought that she already knew. In the bottom of my heart, because she's asked me previously. She's asked me multiple times. She was like, oh, like people are saying that this and this and that. And I just want to know, like, are you gay? And I would always like avoid that question, not necessarily like say no or yes, but I would avoid it because of the fact that I didn't want her to hurt, which is what I ended up doing by posting the video first and not coming out to her first. So learn from me, and learn from my mistakes. Come out to your parents first before posting a video about, if you're in the part of the LGBTQ community.
I'd just like to piggyback on that real quick. I mean, realistically, anything that's huge, probably a good idea to tell your parents before you release a video. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I can't relate on that level, but, like, I'm just thinking, like, there's a few things that, like, if I posted a video before telling my Middle Eastern parents, like, a good chance that a slipper is going to come through the side door right there and hit me in the side of the head. There's a good chance that it's going to be that accurate.
That's literally what happened to me. So
did you actually get a slipper?
No.
Okay,
no.
I mean, hey,
I didn't get it.
That would have been a good story.
No. It was just a lot of like me and my mom didn't talk for about 3 months or so.
Shit.
Yeah, it was that intense. Like I would walk into the house and basically not feel welcomed at all by anyone. Well, my siblings didn't know, and they wanted me to keep it from them just because they don't understand yet and they don't want me to persuade their point of views, which is ridiculous because there's so many like gay parents out there who have a straight kid, just because you're gay or you have a gay family member who's taking care of you, doesn't mean that it's gonna persuade your point of view other than you're gonna support.
How old were your siblings at the time?
So at the time my brother was 13, my sister was 8, and then my youngest brother was 5.
So the real question here is, was internet restricted in your house, or did they just not support your YouTube channel?
Internet
not to have seen the video.
Internet wasn't restricted. They did not support my YouTube channel because of my coming out video.
Oh wait, so hold on. But you posted the video without them knowing.
Technically, yes.
So your siblings didn't support the YouTube channel from prior to this video.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about like my parents.
Oh no,
my siblings. No, my siblings. They didn't have devices to look like at YouTube.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
The only thing that they did have was an iPad that is basically the family's, and it's like restricted from YouTube.
Your specific YouTube page?
No, just YouTube, and it's like all kids stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. Was it harder earlier on?
After I came out?
Yeah. Or even before, if you want.
Before?
Like, not necessarily like family specific, because I know the family situation is going to be, it's tougher. It's sensitive. But like, in general, day-to-day life, was it harder in the beginning? Get easier?
So,
what's it like today?
Like before I came out, it was very, very difficult because I was hiding myself from the world. I was basically isolated from everyone, and with that isolation came a lot of mental health problems like depression and stress, anxiety, all those things. And once I started coming out to people and started accepting who I was, because like I said, I grew up in a religious family, and they weren't very supportive. So not having support fucks you up. I'm not. Am I supposed to? Okay, we're on the clear.
Worst case scenario, though, there's gonna be like a quack sound behind it.
Perfect. But after like I was coming out, I started accepting myself more, and then I got enough strength to be like, you know what, this is who I am, to my family, my friends. And people from there started supporting me. Um, I have a lot of support from some family members who don't think like my parents do, or who don't think like half of my family does, which is awesome, um, because I love them, you know, um, to death. But um, after coming out, it started getting really easy. The first part with like the whole like parents thing, that was very rocky. It was probably like the most difficult part in my life, because I was in a low point in my life where I was just like, you know what, like what what am I doing? Like, why am I here, kind of thing. And I was questioning myself and questioning my life. So getting into like coming out and reflecting back, I was like, you know what, I shouldn't have felt that way, because now look at me. I surpassed that, and people aren't telling me, oh, like what I can or can't wear. People can't tell me like how to act or how to portray myself, which is what a lot of parents do to their kids. I I speak from experience. Like, I was told like I couldn't wear makeup, but at the time, I didn't like really go full out on makeup. It was just for like filming purposes, or I was an actor um, for theater, and you have to like sometimes just cover up those insecurities.
I mean, you don't have to say anything. Someone in charge of that show is gonna come up and be like, "All right, sit here, makeup time."
Basically, but they didn't support that, and like nowadays, now that I think about it, I'm just like, you know what, like I don't care what people think of me anymore.
That's good.
Obviously, like my parents' opinion still matters, but it's just like I brush it off
I feel
very
like
easily.
it's always gonna have some kind of an impact on you just because they're your
Yeah.
parents. I can relate to that. There's a lot of stuff that I've done and that I do that my parents are not supportive of.
Yeah, exactly.
And that weight is always gonna be there. You're always gonna kind of like want them to just show up and one day just be like, "We're proud of you, we
Yeah.
support you," but it's part of being your own individual. It's part of growing up, becoming that confident individual that you're supposed to be throughout life.
Yeah.
And the reality is, because everyone is so unique, while we hold their opinion to such a high degree,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, there's always going to be something. And that's
Exactly.
the unfortunate part.
Yeah. No. 100%. So these past years, like these past 3 years after coming out to my mom, they've been the easiest, because I'm getting my life together, and I'm ready to move out. Obviously, like it's not because I don't like them or anything of that sort, but I feel like now that I'm my own person, I'm able to like go out into the world and experience it for like by myself, and experience all the things that make me me, learn more about me.
Yeah. And how old are you now?
I'm 19.
19. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a bad age.
It's
not like
not
you're
a bad
jumping on
age.
early.
I mean, in Canada it is, but drinking, it's bad for you. Drinking water is good for you.
Yeah, I think at this point we've gotten the chance to kind of like really get to know you, and
Yes.
that's awesome. Yeah, because it gives us like a good foundation for moving forward with
Yes.
this. Now, with that, we're gonna move on to the next section now,
Okay.
where we're gonna talk more about the community itself.
Mhm.
So we're gonna get a little more into that now. For everyone who doesn't know, which is pretty much everybody, everything went wrong. The batteries died, the whole thing went down, and that's why we cut. The
Yeah.
beauty of post, you guys don't have to witness any of that. But moving on, how would you describe the evolution and the progress, if you will, of the community over the years?
I think it's it's come so far that things are just starting to take a step back just a bit. And with that, I mean, it's a lot of political things.
You know what? That's actually like a pretty solid statement to say, only for the reason being that my next question was going to say, do you at all think that things have gone too far?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
I guess like we won't be arguing on this podcast.
no. But, I mean, a lot of things have to do with how the world is run today. So, for example, we just had a whole selection with like the ministers and stuff like that, and I don't have anything against parties or anything, but I do have things against people who are against people who are gay or people who are not sometimes white or that kind of thing. I am against that because I think that people should treat each other with respect, and I also think that people should not only like I feel like people should put each other like walk in other people's shoes before making a statement and being like, oh, like I don't know, I saw this guy kissing another guy and it just looked really gross. Okay, but maybe that's your perspective there, and that's fine. You're entitled to your own perspective. But the whole idea of having that respect towards others is big for me. I'm a firm believer in respect, even at work or at school. Just with anyone in general, I try to give the respect that they give me. So if like someone is obviously rude to me, I'm obviously not gonna be so nice. I'm gonna avoid the situation, but try to like basically let it go down by itself, kind of thing. I'm not sure if that made sense.
It did. I caught on. I was warned about this next question. Warned not to ask, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Okay, I'm excited.
What's up with the idea of there being more than two genders? And this is what confuses me. Okay, so look. Okay, sex from a biological term.
Yes.
It's what you have down there. You can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you physically can change it.
Technically, you can.
You can physically change it. But what I mean is like, you can't all of a sudden say that you don't. I mean, I guess you could ask someone to make it that you don't have either. But realistically, you have one or the other at birth.
Yeah.
So if you want to change, you can change. And I get that. So that's sex. That's your biological. Gender, the way that I understand it, is what you feel that you identify as and what you choose to be, which is where the concept of changing what you have comes into play. Now, the idea of being none of the two is where I get confused. And part of my reasoning with that too, and maybe this is a weak argument, but being LGBTQ, B stands for bisexual.
Yes.
Does that not, in term, I kind of specify there being two? Educate me.
Well, like the whole idea of the LGBTQ plus community, I think a lot of people have this idea already placed in their minds that the gay guy is going to wear the wig and they're going to wear dresses and dress girly, or the girl who is into girls is gonna dress like a boy, having flannels, having cargo pants.
See, I never understood that because like I always kind of looked at it like if you're a girl, you're a girl, and if you're into girls, but you're still a girl. It kind of made sense. I kind of visualized the idea of someone changing their appearance.
Yeah.
When they feel like they identify as the other gender. I never really kind of see myself like thinking like, oh, this one person is gay, therefore
Yeah.
they're gonna start dressing girly or start wearing makeup. And I know a lot of people that are gay that you, from appearance wise, you wouldn't tell them apart from a straight guy.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I've normally seen it.
Yes. So just to like, I don't know, enlighten that topic,
Sure.
it's a lot of how the media portrays you. It comes to the media has such a powerful force of I don't even know how to describe it because they manipulation. Manipulation would be a really good word for how the media portrays what you see. For example, if you look at the Kardashians, you know, you see how like luxurious their dinners are, or like where they go and what they do. And a lot of people want to do that, you know. There's a lot of people who have that mindset of reaching their fame or like their money kind of thing. But the idea of coming back to your question, the idea of there being more than two genders, physically, maybe there can be a possibility because you never know.
You
There's
gotta urinate out of something.
Yeah.
You gotta have something down.
but
Chances are we're not gonna create something new, so I'm assuming we're all gonna have one or
I
the
mean,
other.
I mean, you never know because there's
It's a lot of work to just
Yeah,
create something just
but-
for someone to be like, I don't have either. I don't know. I don't know. You know what though?
But-
maybe that's what somebody wants. Don't hate on that. But like, I guess
no,
you make a lot
but like
of money
no,
out of
you
it, though, if
you
create
make
something new.
you make a good point. It is what someone wants. It all comes down to belief, right? It all comes down to what you view yourself or like how you perceive yourself. And there's a lot of people who like change their appearance like completely. For example, transitioning from a male to a girl. You would never expect that, you know, sometimes the girl was a guy before or the guy is a girl. And I know a lot of people who have transitioned, and their story comes down to, you know, it's what they feel inside. You know, they feel it's right for them to they feel like they're born sometimes in the wrong body. And like I said, everyone is entitled to their own belief.
Now coming back though, like, so sex aside, because that's the physical aspect.
Yes.
But the concept of gender, so people that feel that they're not like male or female, guy or girl, not on like a physical standpoint, but as like a self-identifying standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, like this, if you look on social media, this like launched like the whole, stupid, but it launched like the whole thing of pretty much you can self-identify as whatever you want. I've literally seen people post stuff on their stories making stupid jokes, being like, hey, I filled out my form and I identified as an attack helicopter.
Okay.
Or I identified
That's
as
just
a dolphin.
taking-
And that's exaggerative stuff. Like,
Yeah.
no one actually, if you actually identify as a dolphin, I apologize. But nobody on like a normal basis is going to identify as these kind of things. But people that say that they're not male or female at all, and now are like, they demand to be referred to as they.
Yeah.
Are you aware of like that?
I
Like,
am
Okay,
aware.
because this is where I feel like it gets really confusing, especially because I personally have accidentally referred to someone as her or she.
Whether they were a male. Or,
No,
oh,
I
no?
was attacked because I didn't refer to them as they.
Oh.
So they didn't identify as I. They fully looked like a woman,
Yes.
but identified as they, wanted to be called they because they did not believe they were either of the two.
Okay. So, back to my point again is it all comes down to belief. For example, that topic of like self-identifying, let's go and talk about like your name. You know, that's you self-identifying as Abram, right? Or me as David. It all comes down to belief. Like if if they want to be that of the that's not in the spectrum, then obviously, oh wow,
It's a hard topic, right?
It is.
Because you have to be really sensitive to the fact that it is something that currently exists.
Yes.
But at the same time, it is part of the further out region of the community because it is less popular, I'd say.
Yes.
But it also causes for confusion because it's hard to talk about. And kind of like I said, I would have never assumed that someone didn't identify as either.
Yeah.
Mind you,
but we still have to respect that, right?
We do, once we know. The issue is like...
And I guess they should have told you ahead of time that that's what they would
I got yelled at
like
so
to be
hard.
referred.
It was terrible. And I'm like, what did I even do? And then she's like, well, I guess I shouldn't say she. But the person was like, I want to be referred to as they.
They.
And I'm like, but you're one person. And that's when I realized at that point that she did. They did not identify as either.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but
I'm gonna mess this up a lot. And it's, you know what? I get it. Like you said, it's a sign of respect, and it's their ability to self-identify as whatever they are.
It's like your name, right?
Yeah. No.
That's what identifies you, or I don't know, your social insurance number. Sometimes that's what identifies you, right? You don't necessarily have to look a certain way to identify as, you know, something different, because if you believe that you're a helicopter, then so be it. Be a helicopter, you know.
Please don't jump off buildings if you think you're a helicopter.
Yeah, don't do that.
We don't support the idea of jumping off buildings. Please don't do that. No.
I agree. But yeah. No, like it all comes down to respect. It all comes down to belief, like what you believe in. And if we're talking about self-identification, it all comes down to like what you basically want as the person, and what you want to be referred to, you know. And I think that we should all respect that, because again, they are humans. They have feelings, and you know, sometimes words hurt. Yeah.
Coming back to Stack MasterCard is offered to all Canadians within the age of majority in their area. Again, the link is in the description. If you are someone that does cross the border, this does not charge any kind of foreign transaction fees other than the actual currency exchange. Again, link in the description. You'll get $5 to start off if you apply for the card. It's also available with Apple and Samsung Pay. Hey, guess what? The battery died again.
Yep.
We need a camera that you can plug into a wall. To be honest, it's the only way that's going to work. That or a lot of batteries.
Well, there are cameras like that. They're just hella expensive.
And on that note, Stack MasterCard. Use the link in the description. Totally unplanned. I'm just really trying to get you guys to click the link in the description. Anyway, moving on. I don't know how much you saw me coming at this from this perspective, because I told you I was going to talk about the portrayal of the LGBTQ community. I don't think I said that right the first time. I stumbled over words. Their portrayal in the TV and movie industry, as well as media. I don't know if you saw me coming from this, but this is the first question. TV shows and movies.
Yes.
Do you feel like having gay characters now is forced to stay relevant and to feel inclusive as a movie or TV show?
So I think since a lot of people are more open about their sexuality nowadays, it's become more of a popular trend rather than...
And I do want to stop you right there, because I see where you're going with your answer, and I just want to re-emphasize in case you misunderstood. I don't mean the idea of having them or including them, but I mean the idea of having your gay couple, whether it's you have only 2 gay people on your show and they end up together almost every time, or you end up having someone who is gay who pretty much throws it in your face for no relation to the story, just to emphasize that they are gay, because there are shows that do this a lot now. Do you feel like it's overdone?
Do you have any shows? at the top of your head that you can give me so I can have like a better picture of what you're talking about?
There was a show that ran. I don't remember the name. Basically, we got about 2 seasons into the show.
Yes.
And we have an adult, and all of a sudden, randomly, they turn the character gay or lesbian, I guess. All of a sudden. There's another show. I think The Walking Dead did this. It was like 9 seasons in.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, they have a gay character.
Mm-hmm.
There was another show which I don't remember, but there was a section in the show. There was a scene where literally it was someone was arguing over some kind of point, and one of their arguments, for absolutely no reason, they brought in the fact that they were gay.
Yeah.
Didn't portray anything to the show. This has become a little bit more of an increasing trend throughout TV shows and movies.
Yes.
Not for the sake of, and like again, I have no issue with there being gay couples.
Yeah.
In movies. Like it's totally fine. But if you watch TV and movies, you'll notice that there seems to be a bigger emphasis on those couples and relationships in comparison to the straight relationships.
Oh.
So you'll notice that like you won't notice as much on the straight relationship, but the one that's gay will hit you more in the face. And producers have been doing this in the idea to feel more inclusive.
Yeah.
And it has slowly increased in the amount that they've been doing because it's not just specific producers anymore.
Yeah.
Someone here and there. It's now a more acceptable thing, and they've been doing this a lot more to bring in the inclusive genre into what they have, and they've been capitalizing on this. Is this something that you've even noticed or no?
Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest. I did know about the like people making profit of gay couples being on TV shows because it does bring a lot of money. It brings, it brings a whole community together, and they're like, oh my God, let's go support this show or, whatnot. And like I know people who are obsessed with just watching, gay couples being on TV because you don't get to see that. You didn't get to see that back in the day. It's like kind of like a nowadays things where you see the gay couple or the lesbian couple, and
Do you watch Star Wars or no?
No.
Okay, so
Don't come for me.
So Star Wars, first movie I think was 1977.
Yes.
And they made their 3.
I mean, I don't know, but like, yes.
They made their 3. It ended. They picked up again. I think it was someone's gonna like comment in the section and be like, "You're wrong." It was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
They started the prequel trilogy,
Mhm.
and then it ended. And then Disney's picked it up. They started rebooting. They've made like some shows that take place in between movies that pre-existed that aren't part of their new timeline. But basically, 7, 8, 9 is the new trilogy.
Yes.
They've made some other movies, but 7, 8, 9 is the new trilogy.
Okay.
Ever since episode 7, which is movie 7.
Episode 7.
Yeah, they're referred to as episode.
Yeah, okay.
Ever since episode 7.
See, I didn't know that because I don't watch Star Wars.
They've been hinting and teasing that there's going to be a gay couple from the existing cast since the 7th movie, which came out in 2017.
Mhm.
So we're 2 years later, and this has been an ongoing hint that there is a gay couple. And Carrie Fisher, who plays Princess Leia, was asked in an interview, and she's like, "Is it this and this character?" And she's like, "Well, how would I?" And she made like a funny joke, being that like her husband left her for a gay guy because I guess her husband was gay. But so the Star Wars franchise has been capitalizing on the idea of having a gay couple in their cast since a movie that released 2 years ago, and they've made so many movies since. Just string people along to keep coming to watch it because people want to know who the gay couple is and when they're gonna come out.
Yeah, well, like Disney has been like good with that because after all, they did have a show where one of the main characters was gay. I don't necessarily recall what the show was, but I know like it was being advertised all over their channel.
And that's totally fine if like the show itself is based on that. But I feel like it's more like when it's just something that's part of the show. It's a relationship that exists in a show or a movie. But then they push it in your face, kind of like Star Wars being like, hey, episode 7, hey, we have a gay couple coming.
Yeah.
Episode 8, you came, you paid for this, but we're not giving it to you just yet. Come back for the 9th movie where we may tell you who this couple is. And it's basically, you've made billions of dollars now trading this idea of a gay couple in your cast, and it's, where is it? You're just capitalizing on it. And this is kind of like what I mean. I feel like people in the movie and TV producing company have been capitalizing on this as like an idea, but like there's different aspects, and they've been capitalizing on this because it's now just it's a current topic, current trend, and they have that ability.
I hate.
Right. Well, it is, because like realistically, it's not like something that gradually happened. It just boom, all of a sudden, movies, TV shows, they want to bank this in, and if they do incorporate a gay character, very rarely is it we have a gay character. It's this is a gay character. Let's make a side storyline, or let's make the whole show on it, which is okay. But like side storyline, or let's make a big problem that they have to deal with. And it's, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like they're inclusive in that sense, but again, they're emphasizing more of their story, more of their side time, more of their minutes that they're airing to be like, hey, we have this, we're included, and maybe that's just me as a viewer watching. But I'll notice a lot of the time nowadays, I'll be watching a show, and to be honest, gay or straight, I couldn't care less about the relationship. I want to know what happens, like in Star Wars. I want to know who's gonna die, who's gonna... But it's okay. There's like a bromance going on here. Maybe they're gonna be gay. Are they gonna kiss in 2 minutes? Because I'm really trying to find out if this guy's gonna get shot in the leg. But we're emphasizing there, and it's kind of like that's where I'm sitting at it.
I guess it's like
with it.
It comes down to your perspective also, because I don't normally see that. Like coming from a gay person, like I go all out for like gay couples on shows, movies.
To be fair, I really couldn't care less about.
But I can also go for the straight, because I have you seen the show Originals?
Originals, I don't think so.
It's basically about vampires and like witches and werewolves and all that stuff.
Probably why.
It's fiction, but it was such a good show, and like at the end I wasn't expecting the fact that there was gonna be like one of the sisters was gonna be lesbian, but I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was paying attention to what was gonna happen next in the storyline. So like coming back to my point.
I thought I may have had like another minute in there. I know I was pushing it.
And that battery's gonna show up before you have it.
Well, you'd have to switch to the DSLR. That's like charging for like water.
I don't know if it saved that last clip. That's the problem.
True, yeah.
We may have lost that whole clip.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
Switch the
That's
battery.
why
Okay, so due to battery being a consistent issue in this episode, we're going to jump off to the last topic. Our last topic for today is Stack MasterCard. No, it's not. But again, link in the description. Anyway, we're going to go back to last month.
Last month?
Last month. What are your views on the rainbow poppy for Remembrance Day?
Oh my god.
There was so much hate that came out for that.
I literally...
And so many people, before you comment, so many people were going on about some of the veterans were gay, or they were lesbian, or they were trans, or whatnot, but they were stopped and they weren't able to express it, to say that. But my views, anyway, which seems to align with a lot of people online, is that Remembrance Day has nothing to do with sexuality. It just has to do with the people that sacrificed their lives to defend the country that we live in.
Okay.
But based off your first reaction when I said rainbow poppy, I'm going to leave the mic open to you and let you respond.
So, I was seeing this through my like social media, and it drove me insane. I get where you're coming from for like the Remembrance Day kind of thing. I do respect that. And that whole idea of the rainbow poppy was, first of all, poppies come in different colors. They don't just come in red. I get it. They like, you know, we have people who died in a field filled with red poppies, but poppies come in different colors. But that idea of the rainbow poppies being like brought up, oh Lord, it's such a difficult topic because it has like too many perceptions and perspectives. One being yours, and then the other one being that it was basically an advertisement made by a homophobic person, made by a homophobic person, or someone who just wanted to, you know, start something, start drama, which was like what I was seeing. Not only that, but like a lot of people who are gay, who I am connected with, did go out to their social media and, you know, they defended the fact that, you know, like the rainbow poppy isn't a thing, because last time I checked, I didn't see any rainbow poppies in Remembrance Day. And let that be known that I go to, you know, a well-populated place for school, and I was also in Toronto that day. I didn't see any rainbow poppies whatsoever. But yeah, like that idea of the rainbow poppy, and I get where you're coming from, where you're trying to defend, you know, the dead or and people who have passed on, but it's just like we're not trying to rub things in your face all the time. Like, you know, as a gay person, I'm not trying to wave my rainbow flag all over the place, all over your face kind of thing. And even if someone were to wear a rainbow poppy and they're doing it from their belief that it's a sign of respect.
So are you aware how it actually came about or no?
I just heard bits and pieces.
So basically, and the only reason I'm looking at my photos, I wanted to get the details
Yeah.
right before I say anything, is it was a student in Manitoba that was going to create and sell these.
See what I mean?
This
It was-
person got suspended from.
Oh.
Yeah, and they seized production right away due to all
Yeah.
the hatred that they got online. It's not a trend or anything like that that actually was to launch. I think originally it originated in the UK. There was a
Yeah.
student in Manitoba that got suspended due to this whole thing. I don't know if they were also producing it or
Yeah.
whatnot. I was also trying to find the colors. I think one of the colors is supposed to represent animals, actually, which confused me even more.
I didn't
at
know
the
that.
time, yeah, like don't quote me on that one. I remember reading it. I was trying to find it so that I could also comment on that, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like again, it's not a trend. It's not a thing that happened.
No, it
Literally,
shouldn't be.
someone was
It's
like,
not. Yeah.
Yo, there were like gay people that were veterans. Let me make a rainbow poppy and sell this online.
Okay, maybe the selling part, like if you're going to make profit, anything that, if you're literally gonna use something such as someone's sexuality or, you know, their preference, as a like profit point, then you should start like rethinking about it, because if you attract that kind of attention, and, you know, sometimes it may not be that good, sometimes it's great, but you can't, you know, come to a conclusion where you're just gonna create something and, you know, it's gonna be sold. Like the poppies, they've been sold throughout Canada for the longest time. Well, like since.
Now, what do poppies actually run for? It's like on a donation basis, right?
Yeah. So like whatever you.
So these ones I think were more of like a metallic thing. It wasn't like the cloth type thing that we
Yeah.
have now. So it's more of like a metallic pin that you could get. I'm pretty sure they were being sold for a little bit more. On the it's like a couple dollars per
Yeah.
each. I mean, I guess if it's metal though, it does cost you more to
Yeah.
make it. But based off the limited research that I have done on this topic, nowhere did I read that the person selling them was like part of the community at all.
This is my point exactly, where straight people sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of straight people use like some sort of platform to create drama. You know what I mean?
It gets better.
Okay.
I also haven't read anywhere that any of it was being donated towards veterans.
Okay.
It's possible that they were, but it sounds like from what I'm reading that it was just personal profit.
Then there you go. It wasn't,
It's
you know, a
even
gay
worse.
person. It was more of a straight person trying to.
Yeah. If any of my facts are wrong, I do apologize. You can comment down below, and obviously I'll revisit that, and I will apologize for any false information that I have shared. But this is based off the limited information that I have or that I remember from when I did do a little bit of research. So I'm just throwing that out there.
I also did a little bit of research, like back when it first like came out,
It was a crazy topic. Like, it blew up on the internet right away.
and it was so annoying. Going through scrolling through my feed, and I was
Every other post.
oh
on
my
Instagram,
God, like-
hey, there's a rainbow poppy.
like, why? Like, look, if you're going to, you know, try to make profit somehow, don't just use, you know, the LGBTQ plus community. Don't
Hear
just
us,
use
TV producers? Do you hear us?
don't just use like, I don't know, stereotypes, like races, unless it's for a good cause, you know, because a lot of things that are being portrayed nowadays may sound good in your head, or may sound good in general, but it may have a negative effect because there's billions of people with different perspectives, and not all of them may agree on your point, you know. Yeah.
I feel at this point of the podcast, we have pretty much covered everything that I had intended to cover. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to say?
In terms of
The whole like anything that we've talked about, or just being on the podcast, anything.
I really enjoyed it. Like, it was fun being in a podcast.
Yeah, it was awesome having you.
This is my first time, so I was really, really looking forward to it, and I'm still excited.
I've only ever been on a podcast episode once prior to the filming of this.
Yeah.
It was never released. So technically, when this releases, our first podcast is like the first podcast for both of us that ever go out.
I love that. I love that for us. But my thoughts, I think that if you're gonna do something that, you know, can hurt someone, think twice before doing it. For example, like the rainbow poppy, it was created by someone who wasn't part of the LGBTQ community, but they wanted to make, you know, personal profit.
Well, unconfirmed, they could have been. It just
Well,
didn't say anything.
yeah, exactly. But if you're just gonna make personal profit off something that's, you know, that has a big platform, that's huge, and can impact the life of not, you know, just 2 people or 3 people, you're impacting the life of thousands of millions of people out there who are having a hard time trying to find who they are, and, you know, becoming comfortable with who they are. But no, like, I really like, you know, the fact that you brought this topic, because I think a lot of it needs to be talked about, and not a lot of it is talked about. So I do thank you for that. But other than that, that's all I have to say.
All right, to be honest, yeah,
That's the thesis.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome having you on the show. We value a lot of the opinions and the things that you've said throughout the
Thank you.
episode. And I couldn't agree more. The idea of not doing something for personal gain that harms others is very important.
Yeah.
Whether it has to do with the LGBT community.
LGBTQ plus.
Q plus, yes, it has changed. Community or anything else, whether it's like you said, discrimination goes over so
Yeah,
much. You mentioned
yeah,
religion,
yeah.
culture, race. It should really never be done.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, I can't think of a better way to finish off this episode than saying, if you're going to make a profit, don't hurt other people. So just go ahead and sign up for Stack. You'll get $5, and every person that you refer will send you money. So everyone, have yourself a great rest of your day, and take care. Thank you for spending your time with us. Goodbye.